All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of What's What VR. Today we have returning guest Dr. Narcisse from EBR School System. Dr. Narcisse, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you doing? Glad
I
to be
am
here.
good and hot. Hot, and we're not even in July yet. Almost there,
Oh,
but I'm scared of August already.
listen, I
So,
love it. I wouldn't trade this weather in for anything. I love it. I tell you, it can always be worse. You could be in the cold.
yeah, I don't know. Cold, I can keep layering up, but you're gonna have to keep coming back with us because you hadn't made it through an August yet, have you?
Yeah, not yet. Not It's be my first of many. So
Yeah, hadn't been doing August with a hurricane with no power and the humidity at
right,
120%. So,
right. They
so
told me once I get through that, I'm really baptized. Then so.
you need that and a good crawfish boil, I think. So, so you've landed, you're getting your feet underneath you. You got a million things going on. Dispel the myth right out of there for anybody who's not, doesn't know. Most people, if you don't know anything with education, will believe that the summertime is the chance where you all get a break and
Yeah.
you can slow down a little bit. And it's not, getting ready, school's gonna come there. But contrary to popular belief, this is about the busiest time for you guys,
That,
right?
that is correct. We have about 53 camps going on, summer camps. We have also athletic for kids that's going on right now. I don't know if you knew, but this is the first time we've started to do elementary athletics in this city. So kids from pre-K all the way up are doing summer camps, which also have like literacy and those type of things going on, and also doing skills and stuff like that. So we have that. And then also we're preparing for the school year. Things around the curriculum, after school programs, working through all the lunch menu components, all that happens in the summer. So it sets up for the fall. So we're pretty busy gearing up before the fall actually comes. So we're pretty excited
Wow.
about it.
You mentioned the lunch menus. I didn't even think about that. That's not like you just run to Costco and pick up a couple things for everybody for lunch. You're feeding thousands every week, right? So
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
a real prep of what's going on. But to make sure everybody know, just for some, another note that people may not, you guys are still running lunch programs, right, and breakfast programs during the summer that a lot
absolutely.
of people don't even know about.
Absolutely. We still have that going on. We're still feeding kids. We're, working with the community for helping with families. All that stuff is managed by Dr. Mann and her team. We're always thinking about the kids who, don't have, if there's no school or if they don't have anything going on, they're not eating. So we're constantly thinking about how to make sure we provide opportunities for them across the city. In all the communities, kids are busy, still doing something. And so we're trying to make sure that we can provide some food for them to kind of give them some energy walking through the year. So,
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of kids, that's might be the only good, solid meal they're picking up every day. And a lot of people don't think about that when school lets out the school and the cafeteria worker, the planning that's still going on, and it's
absolutely.
more than just school at that point. It's helping the community at large. So
Absolutely. I mean, community doesn't stop, because school stops. And so, one of the things we've been talking a lot about since I've arrived has been, I tell folks that schools are a part of communities, not that communities are part of schools. And so you have to, the schools are almost kind of like a hub for communities. And our goal is to try to, how we kind of utilize and partner with different community partners to kind of get things done. So.
that's awesome. Well, tell me, I know we talked briefly a little bit beforehand, but you've got some major things happening. There's a big initiative you had mentioned about. I'm not going to steal your thunder. I'll let you tell us a little bit about it. But something that you've got going on, just to let
Yes.
everybody know kind of some of this vision and direction, and bringing some new things to the public school system.
Yeah, I was super excited. Our goal, if everything works out well as I expected to, we're going to be building our first Baton Rouge Visual Performing Arts School. We're pushing for that. It'll be a 612. As you know, we have our BRC VPA Center for Baton Rouge Center for Performing Arts for younger kids that go up to fifth grade, and we want to create an open school for visual performing arts that's dedicated for that 612 to be open across the city. So we've been working through that. We also have, we're working on building a new school, another pre-K-12 complex in South Baton Rouge. We're trying to work through that to open that up to provide more opportunities and seats for families in that part of the city. And also we are expanding magnet seats. and the feeder pattern over the Woodlawn area. We're also working on gifted seats in North Baton Rouge that we're working on as well. And then from there, we're gearing up for other things like, professional development for teachers and principals and programs. We have a lot of that. We've been partnering also with kind of our out of school community providers to do some more neighborhood stuff. We're really excited about that. And then, I can go on for days to tell you a whole lot of stuff. We also are partnering right now with the Arts Council. We're super excited about that, to have something for the arts. We want to do like an arts week and performance and those things. So we have that brewing up. You're going to hear more about that pretty shortly in the next few weeks. Just super excited, and some district-wide stuff we're excited about too. Like, we're bringing back spelling bee for kids across the city. We're going to have a spelling bee competition.
Really?
We're going to open up also a debate league. We're going to be starting that up in the fall. And then also there's a performing for spoken word performances that are doing. The curriculum team is working through that. And then also we're expanding also our pre-K seats. We're trying to get even more pre-K seats. As you know, we have thousands of kids and families in the city. And so we've been really trying to hit the marker of maximizing that, working with our daycare providers and those folks to kind of work through with them as we work with our kids from 0 to 4, and partnering also with the mayor's office around Head Start. So we can start working with kids around Head Start. So, we have all those things going on right now. And we think that that's going to continue to provide more access and opportunity for our families all across the city, from whether you're in North Baton Rouge, Mid-City, South Baton Rouge, wherever you're located. So we're kind of working through that to kind of build that. And the other big piece I announced at the board meeting was that we've broken the city up into 5 regions where we're providing support within those particular communities. And so we're reorganizing ourselves to be much more of a community connected school system, because we think that's really important to be able to be connected more with the community as we do our work. So we're kind of excited about that as well.
It's funny you mentioned a couple of things when you hit on there. It's, we made some conversations kind of in our office that instead of just kind of looking at it as everything as a whole, we're going to start looking at, at the individual, and it doesn't just, policies are no longer just kind of blanketly across, what works for one doesn't necessarily work for the other, kind of where you're talking these different regions. And then the other piece you mentioned was, and I'd actually talked to somebody about this the other day, it seemed like we had mentioned, like, where did all the debate go? It seems like people have learned or lost the ability to disagree, but still communicate.
Right. That's right.
And I think,
that's right.
And
we
had brought it up in a conversation. It was like, well, I remember you used to have like a debate and you could be completely polar opposites on things.
That's right.
But you still managed to have a conversation and nobody turned around and ran off. Nobody got mad, but you tried to educate the other person. And
that's right.
I think that's a big deal that's actually, it's funny you mentioned that's coming back.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's healthy, right? We're, regardless of where you stand on an issue, we're still one city, right? And I think that, what people don't know, every time I go into a meeting, people are asking me, what do you think about this for this or this for that? And I tell folks, I actually think about it as one big pie, right? And at the end of the day, I need for the entire apple pie to taste good. I tell folks. Right. So, you just got to keep working through it and keep providing opportunity for all of us to engage and connect together. We got a lot of great people in this city that are really vested in trying to, make our community better. And I think, schools should be a part of that process on helping people to be connected. And so my goal, as I tell folks as the superintendent, is, I may have to be the superintendent, but it takes the village to do the work. And I just see myself more as a facilitator or coordinator to bring some of those pieces together. So that's been, what I've learned being like a number 2 of a superintendent. The best ones were able to help coordinate and bring things together. And over time, the community and the superintendent led the city together in the work and supported. So
I tell people, I've merged a couple quotes and some old, some good business together where they say, it's not about getting everybody on the bus. It's about getting people in the right seat on the bus. And then I'd say all the time, if I'm the smartest guy in the room, I'm in the wrong room, that I need to get some other people there.
That's right. So
tell me, you guys, you've got all these things going on. What I would I've coined the term, I believe, juggling water is kind of what it's like, of trying to keep up with all this, as well as bringing faculty in, retaining faculty, getting a culture set right, putting all this, together, and getting ready for what is it, 80 something thousand students? Is that
Oh,
right?
no, we're at 41, just about 41,000 kids here. Yeah.
41,000.
Yeah.
That's an incredible number of kids.
Yeah. I tell people, if you got 41,000 reasons to get this thing right. And, and it takes all of us, to kind of do this thing together. I tell folks, I'm never convinced that it's just one person's responsibility or one organization or group's responsibility. It's all of our responsibilities. And so, trying to work together to figure out, I mean, even this conversation around informing families and communities, it's a part of being on the team. I'm trying to get that right. And so I think we just have to keep working towards that goal.
So what is, not to put you on the spot, but you literally kind of tied us right there. Being able to speak to the families and let them know, there a lot of them may not be thinking school right now. You guys are thinking school around the clock, but they're going to start, I'd say usually it's end of July. When people hear that August, it's like, oh wait, school's about to start. We got to, supplies and uniforms and trying to do things. But if you could tell that, I say it's that mom, because, the mom's keeping everybody together, right? She's the one making the decision most of the time. What is it that, if you could speak to her right now, that you'd want her to know that you guys are, putting together?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I want moms to be able to understand, or just any family member or grandma, if it's you're in that space too, is that, our goal is to try to make it easier for you, not harder, right? And kind of work with you to help navigate the needs for, your children. And I think, how we can help get information out early, get you to be able to be aware what the options and choices are, help you to see, whatever needs you have or programs or those things that are coming up. We'd like to make sure that is a burden that you don't feel like you have to carry on your own. I find that, people go into the summer, they're playing all their summer programs, but they start thinking about it mid-July about, what's going to happen in August. And I feel like our job is to kind of help you, give you what those options are as early as possible, so you can feel more connected to your schools and those things. I mean, I even tell the principals, it's all of us as a team trying to figure that out, so families can feel like it's an easier process. If we can make families' experiences or moms' experiences easier, it's better, right? And a part of that, because their job is hard already, right? You have children you're trying to make sure have the best, and you have all these other things going on, and our job is to try to make, take that anxiety down a little bit to make that process easier for you.
No, I think that's amazing. At the same time, I think it's keeping and letting, parents know that you guys have these resources, and there's so much more I think school has, and especially, EBR has to offer than the traditional, like, get here at 7:30, leave at 2:30 or 3.
Yes.
Like, there's so many other things that it's, how many times, have you, as a parent, or I would encourage people, get in touch with, the local principal, or go on the website, or drop by the school, have a conversation, get engaged, and find out, what are the other after school activities, what's happening before,
Yes.
Where can you get involved at? Because I think if the system, not the system, I don't mean it in that way, if the school system, but like, it doesn't work when you just drop off, in my opinion, it doesn't work as well if you just drop off and run. If you can
That's
get
right.
involved, and park a car, kind of maybe walk the child in, go meet in the library, form a little group of parents where you guys can meet, have breakfast once a week, and then help out, whether that be hanging up decorations or anything. It just gets you involved. And
That's
then
right.
by being
That's right.
involved, you absorb, and you maybe pick up some other things and find a need, that maybe you can help out in.
Well, we're adding more to the point that you just brought up, Brandon. We're adding more parent engagement specialists in schools across the city for that, right? To help to get families to connect more with each other for similar type of experiences, or to help support each other through the process, or to learn things that they don't know, right? I mean, I've also noticed in my short time here that we also have a lot of resources that families are not aware of. And how do we get them to become aware of that? I mean, there's nothing that you technically can ask for from a school space that we don't offer, right? And sometimes I think that we're not on our end getting that information out quick enough to families so they can make better decisions around that. And so part of our goal is to make that a better experience for families. I know in our own parent engagement team, we're talking about creating focus groups for families to continue to give us feedback throughout the year. We've been meeting with our parent advisory group, who've been extraordinary. We have a bunch of parents on there that give us some feedback as well, that I meet with once a month and talk about, here's some things that I'm experiencing, or here's some things I think would be great for families. And we have that representation across the city. So we have different parents who live in different communities and neighborhoods to give us some feedback. So we're pretty excited about that.
Absolutely. I think it almost sounds like you'd fall into the same group, and I don't know how long the school system's been around, but I have a friend of mine who's got a company, and they've been around. It was a family business, and it grew, and he'd been there for almost 50 years. And we've been here for July 1st will be 31 years, and we're kind of in the same boat. And I like the way he said it. He goes, look, he goes, I'm stepping in, I'm kind of taking things, I'm making changes, and I'm telling everybody that we're just a 50-year-old startup company. That's what we are. We're starting over. We're, getting rid of just what we did before, isn't always going to work. And he's making changes and just not accepting the status quo,
That's
and
right.
I think that
That's
makes
right.
a really big, difference when companies are willing to embrace that.
That's right. That's right.
I read, one time there was a quote, that said the arrogance of success is to think that what you did yesterday will be sufficient for tomorrow. And
That's
so
right. That's right. That's a true statement.
we feel it, right?
Right. That's right.
So,
That's right.
well,
So,
look, I think it's amazing all the different things that are going on, and I'd encourage everybody to go. Really, like you said, you've got the resources there. Sometimes it's not a matter. It's hard enough to get the resources and build that infrastructure, and then you have it. Then you've got to maintain it, but then somehow you got to continually communicate that back out and find people where they are today, so that they know the resources are there. So hopefully, people, whether it be hitting a website or making a phone call or dropping in or just getting engaged. That's the one thing I wish every parent would do, would be to get engaged.
Yeah, we've been talking about also updating our website, and also thinking about what kind of application we can provide to parents to help navigate within their school community. So we're working on that as well. I mean, up by July 1, we'll have a much better website for navigation, those things. The team is working on that. I would tell parents, please go to www.ebrschools.org. And take a look and, surf around. We're trying to figure out better ways to communicate. And so a lot of that is going to be updated coming in the coming days. And then from there, thinking about also how do we provide more access to parents through, we're looking at some web-based approaches for that as well.
It's funny you mentioned it because we were talking the other day.
Oh, and I got one more big thing, Brad, they didn't announce. We are going to be opening up what they call EBR Schools TV. And more information soon to come. If everything works out well, I've been trying to push pretty hard for us to get that up and running. Our goal is to have EBR Schools TV hopefully up and running by the fall. I'd love to have you as a guest or your folks to come in and see that. And also parents, where it's going to be the kind of our first time moving that, where we'll have programming for parents. They could be on to see programs, help with math, tutoring, as a whole set of shows around those things. So I think that's going to also be huge, where you could go on, turn on your television, and you're going to see EBR Schools TV doing that work, or on YouTube or whatever platform you want to do on. So
that's amazing. That's and it's you're going right to the heart of where I was going. It used to be that we all as a culture made this shift, and it was telling everybody, go to our website for more information, and now that just doesn't cut it anymore. It's
not at all.
The website, everybody knows, go to a website, but websites just get so big. And not discontinuing or discounting the websites by any means, but people want different mediums and different access to different information. That's what's we believe has made this show so successful as it's been, is because people can, if you're walking around the lake, if you're walking on a treadmill, you just want to get an update, or you want to hear from someone in real life, kind of what they're doing, they can just listen. But to your point, to go to a TV station or a YouTube channel, just people need to consume media the way they want to consume it.
That's right.
Some people like to read, press releases. Some people like to read long articles. Some people like memes. Some people like short videos. So meeting them where they are, I think, is key. And I think that's an awesome step to get out there and be able to communicate and let people just ingest it maybe while they're, cooking a dinner. Or
That's right. That's right.
You've got kids that are watching TV and watching tablets all the time. I'm not a screen time, fanatic as far as regulating it. I think that's the wave of the future, where people are going. So we have to embrace some of it. So if you're going to have a show, if you're going to have something with, maybe that's helping with some homework, hey, here's the tablet, go watch it.
That's right.
It's not going anywhere. It's kind of, the internet's sticking around.
That's right. Well, I mean, I embrace technology, and I also embrace it in a way where it should help provide families with more opportunity to do things that they want to do. And so I tell folks the more we can do that, the better. And so our goal is to kind of upgrade in all those spaces.
That's amazing. Well, as usual, I always tell everybody, you got more important things to do than sit around and talk to me, especially on a Monday morning. So I appreciate you taking some time to sit here, fill us in. I think this is a lot of announcements in here. I don't know how we're going to title this, but we'll have to figure something out here. Listen, you'll find out a lot of cool stuff. Maybe it'll turn into that one. But I do appreciate your time, and I appreciate you coming on. I think it's good. I think it gives people a chance to connect with you, to hear what's going on firsthand. And I think it's great for the community to know what's going on, and that they've got a voice and they can call in, they can find information. It's easy. It's not this big system that's untouchable.
Yes, so. I agree. Well, thank you for the opportunity. I mean, every time we get a chance to talk about the system and what we're doing for children in this city, I tell folks, we'll take it. I mean, the more the information we get out, the better. We see this with our parents as partners in this work to kind of help our children do better and get better opportunities across the city. So thank you for that. We just thank you for letting us engage you.
Awesome, sir. Well, I'll let you get to it. I appreciate the time, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.